Hi, Charles here. Well, a week from tomorrow we are headed out for our longest trip, a little over 3 weeks, out to Colorado and Utah with our newly converted Ford Transit. And I thought I would put together a video showing you how we prepare the van and get ready for a longer trip. Thanks for watching. Well, I have to tell you, when I told my wife that I was going to do an episode about us getting ready, she said, "Oh no, are you going to do a episode like you make fun of other van tours where the people show where they put every fork in each can of tuna?" Well, no. I'm just going to show generally how we do our camping, since we're more minimal than a lot of other people as far as what we take and how we expect to use the van on a trip like this. So I'm not going to show you super detail, but just general things about what we do. It will be absolutely nothing new. There's probably a million other videos where people are saying how to get ready for a real van life on a trip, and we're just campers that go out on a trip and come back. So I'll start out with anything electrical. So let's move to the back of the van. We'll talk about that for a minute. Well, first let's talk about power. If we have shore power, and we will some of the places we're going to be on this trip, then I've got an inlet over here. I use a Schumacher inverter, and I have my fuse block plugged into this, and so it feeds all the 12 volt, and I don't use any of the lithiums. But there will be times where we will not have shore power available, and so I'm bringing all of the Ecoflow units that they sent us, two of the Delta 1300s, and either one of these can run the microwave, the coffee pot, the Zero Breeze portable air conditioner, all that for a long time. But typically, things like the microwave and the coffee pot we're using a very short amount of time, so only thing that would use a lot of power for a longer period would be that Zero Breeze air conditioner. Also bringing the River Pro, the 720 watts, and the smart battery that comes with it, 720 watts, and then the River Max, that's 576. So of course I've got to really be sure I'm bringing 2 power cables for the units, just in case one of them fails or if I want to charge 2 things at once. And then the smart battery, the only downside of the smart battery is you have to use this cable connected from the River Pro to the smart battery. It's the only way you can charge it. It would be nice if this could be charged independently, but it doesn't, so life goes on. Then if I'm running, if I'm running with the batteries, and I am putting up here on the roof a flexible 100 watt solar panel, and so it's a junction box. The wiring comes into the box here. So I've got a cable here that will, MC4 connectors that I can plug in, and then plug this XT60 into the sides of these units to charge them, except for the smart battery. That one, again, you have to go through the River Pro. So I'm all set with that. I will probably bring one of the Ecoflow folding panels, and it'll be up there in a bag. And if I need to, I'm bringing it just in case, but I have an extension cable for the if I want to plug in something far away, but I can't see that, but I just bring it anyway. When we're driving, the refrigerator is plugged into the car. Otherwise, if we're out of it, then it'll be plugged into the lithium. So we're all set there. Extra cables. And then just in case I need to fix something, which I did do a little repair work on the last trip, I bring extra wire and tape and butt connectors and fuses, and I've got a big box of the flat blade, the fuses for the car and for the fuse block. I've got those as well. And then when we stop somewhere, I've got this that plugs into the side of the van if we only have 110. So I just use extension cord. I probably don't need to bring this, but I can plug this into a 50 amp with a 30 amp cord plugging in. So I've got a long cord for 30 amp, which is usually what they have. Typically they have everything, 50, 30, 10, 110 should be set there. Got a new tire pressure pump. I've got the NOCO jump starter in case I do something dumb and kill the battery. New tire pressure gauge. And so that pretty much covers the electrical on this trip. And let's move on to something else. So my flexible solar panel came in. I've got it screwed in. It's got 6 grommets, so it's screwed into the deck. The wires are going here. I actually took this board off and ran the wires under and zip tied one of the cables to the 80/20 cross beam, and then it runs over here. It's connected, and underneath there, if you watch my series, you know I put a junction box there, and it runs down through the ceiling, along the walls to the back, and it's all functioning really well. So this helps throw some juice into the batteries as we're driving along. And so then I have a cable here and it terminates in an XT60, and that plugs into all of the different Ecoflow units that I've got. So nice and simple.
So when I was in Boy Scouts, I made a list for when we go, and I kind of changed it for when we went camping in our other little camper and changed it for camping here. So I have one page for kitchen stuff, one page for just general camper stuff, and one page, yes, for all my personal items. So it helps me not to leave anything behind that's important to me, and I add and subtract as I go.
So this time next week we will be probably in Ellis, Kansas, hopefully grabbing a campsite at the Ellis City Campground. And if we don't get one, we will probably just go on down to the next exit rest area or two and grab a spot there. So we'll make it work either way. As you saw, Susie has a list to keep everything packed, and so I'll take some pictures and I may drop some in here. But so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes here and 4 boxes here. And so up here in this box is the power box, I call it, with my fuse block, and the power's coming in. So that's where I plug in one of the Ecoflows to run the 12 volt if we're on shore power. I use the inverter, and I also have a lines feeding the regular house outlets here on the ends for the microwave, coffee pot, anything else. Use this for more of the Ecoflows and some of the window covers, and then there'll be something just laying on top of here. In here I have my clothes, a sleeping bag. In this section we have warmth, so we have blankets and sheets. We actually have our little heater, ceramic heater that you have to use shore power with. I doubt we're going to need it, but she brings that, and she also is bringing her heated mattress pad. In this box up here is another Delta and all of our power cords, some tools. Susie's got one whole big box full of clothes. Here's some more sheets and blankets, and in here is where we would normally keep like the porta potty, the Zero Breeze air conditioner, which is going to get used on this trip, the shower curtain, and the vent for running the Zero Breeze out. And then as far as food, we keep some dried food cans down here. Our silverware is up here, and the refrigerator, we really eat very, very simply, and quite often we get frozen entrees. There's some famous brand she loves, and we get those, heat them up, eat them, we're done. We don't barbecue, we don't grill, we just don't do that. If we want something barbecued, we'll go to a restaurant, and we do eat out some, for sure. So that's pretty much it. Everything's charged up. We love these little polar fans that we've got, lithium fans, and other than that, that's about it. So I'll show you what I'm going to have up, what I'm getting ready up above on the deck, and now I'll be able to wind this up. Just a couple other quick things about gear. I've got a really nice backpack, camera backpack, but I don't need that most of the time. So I now keep everything here. The camera that I'm filming with, my Nikon D750, a nice carbon fiber tripod, a very lightweight one, and then a couple of extra lenses, especially a 15mm manual lens for my Milky Way stuff. First time I'm taking a drone, so this takes up space, but it really protects it. It's a DJI Mini 2, and so everything stores in that. And then we have unlimited data on our phones, but we want to be able to use Susie quite often is on her laptop when we're driving, and so we use the Skyroam hotspot. $49. The first 20 gig is the highest speed that's available wherever you are. There's nothing magic about it. I don't use a WeBoost, but if there's a signal, we can have Wi-Fi, no problem. They've got various plans, but what used to cost $99, we now get for $49. So that's for a full month, and so we use that. Up there is a Kindle Fire, and I put a memory card in it, so it's probably got 20 movies on it. So sometimes at night, if we're not tired, we'll watch a movie. On this trip, we know until we get to Rocky Mountain National Park, there's going to be like fall. It's going to be in the 70s and down to upper 40s at night. But the rest of the trip, we have a good chance of getting in some 90 and 80s, and then still get halfway cool at night, upper 60, 70. So it's not going to be too bad. And as it works out, most of the time we're going to be in some heat. We'll have some shore power, but we can run that Zero Breeze, which we definitely will use on this trip. So that's just kind of a little extra there, and let me go up on the roof. So on our last trip to Colorado, I bought a bag. It wasn't very expensive, and I got what I paid for. It just got the straps rubbed against it, and it's like wearing out in one trip. It was amazing. So I've got a tailgater tire table, and I'll show you a picture of that. But it's a table that you can put on your tire. That's why it's called tailgater tire table. And then I've got a couple of short recovery boards, and that will go here. I might squeeze in an Ecoflow solar panel. And I did get this waterproofed the other day, so water just beads right off of this, and it was finally dry enough to do that. So this will all get strapped down nice and tight. Didn't make any noise, and so it's a great way to carry stuff. So this time it won't be as full as it was across, but I've got a waterproof bag. If we were strapped for space, I could put the Zero Breeze up here in a totally waterproof bag that's made for like whitewater rafting, but we've got it worked out inside. So as I may have mentioned earlier, got my flexible solar panel in the other day. It's got 6 grommets. I've screwed through it. It's tight. I drove it today for a couple of hours going to run an errand. Never heard a sound because it just almost can't lift up. I can barely get it to raise up, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. The most I would do is like buy a real thin aluminum strip at Home Depot and just have it along the leading edge there and screw it down, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. I think it's going to be fine. Well, there you go. As I promised, nothing new. We camp pretty simply, especially the eating side of it. And I'm surprised no one's ever brought up why you don't have a table in there. We actually don't. I actually still have a lagoon table mount thing, but it just really wasn't going to work with the way we do it. And so we typically, we're sitting on the end and we use our countertops as a table, or we're just eating, or we're eating outside. So that's really about it. We try to bring as little as possible and just kind of make our lives easy. And today I just found there's a van expo that's held all over the country, and it's going to be in Chattanooga on October 1 and 2, and we're thinking about running down to that. That's not crazy far away from us here in southern Indiana, so we might be doing that. So we're excited about this trip. It is so hot here, and it's going to be hot a few days coming up, but we'll do fine. I can't wait to get to Rocky Mountain and get into some nice cool weather. And thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.